As many of you know, my residential assisted living home is in an HOA, and this past week, my landlord gave me a call, and well, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys what happened, so make sure to stick around. What's up, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, my name is Serge. Welcome to the channel. To all my reoccurring viewers, thank you so much for all the love and support that you guys have shown this channel. If you have not yet, feel free to go check out the God Made podcast. It will be linked down below, along with Legion Assisted Living Academy and Legion Assisted Living Advisors. So feel free to go check that all out. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the topic of this video. Now, I received a phone call from my landlord last week, and well, she told me that HOA sent her 12 questions regarding the nature of my residential assisted living business. Now, if we're going to backtrack just a little bit, my landlord has actually been doing residential assisted living out of this property for a few years before I came along and started my residential assisted living home out of it. So therefore, her CCNRs, she went over them. She made sure that she was able to actually open this facility and open a care home within this HOA, clarified it, went ahead and made sure that that was all taken care of. So it did come as a surprise to not only her, but myself, that they are starting to come to us and, in a way, intimidate us or harass us about the nature of the business and the care home that I currently have out of her home. So I'm going to go through the 12 questions that they actually asked, and I will put it up here for you guys to look at as well. The first question was, describe the nature of the business. Well, it's an assisted living facility, and here in the state of Arizona, I went ahead and looked exactly what the nature of the business is, right? What it's defined as, and it says assisted living facility in a residential institution is really what it is. Describe whether any of the residents suffer disabilities, so on and so forth. Provide the ownership of the information for the business and whether you intend to operate, which that's not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and say that I plan to operate the business as an LLC. And then they wanted me to forward any type of advertisement, which I don't really have any advertisement as far as signs, or I do have brochures, but I don't really use them. I mean, I only give them to the families when they come and tour the home. But aside from that, I don't have any other advertisement that I'm doing as far as like my online presence. And then explain the anticipated size of the business, including without limitation the number of beds, occupants. So I went ahead and answered that, 5 beds, etc. I went on, describe the level of care, healthcare provided, and the degree of medical training necessary to assist the residents. So the one thing I do want to just say real quick, and just because it comes to my mind when I just talk about this, because they want to know like my specific business that I'm doing out of this home in this HOA. But a lot of these questions could be answered if they were just to go to Arizona's Department of Health Services, go to their residential facilities. They could find the majority of these questions, such as that question right there. Describe the type and level of healthcare provided. But I get what they're saying. It's pertaining to my care home. So am I just supervisory care, personnel, or directed? Which I'm all three. So I just went ahead and put all three. Describe any special needs for parking, such as visiting hours. Is there adequate parking in your garage, driveway? Will excessive parking impede access to the home or neighbors' homes by emergency vehicles? Yes, because it's a shared like driveway in a way. They're called patio homes. So if you go look those up, um, you'll see what I'm talking about as far as like one common driveway, and then there's just houses on each side. That's how the setup is here. Not the most ideal, I will admit. It's not the most ideal, and it's always been an issue, which I'm not very fond of and happy about, but it is what it is, and there's not anything I can really do about it. Provide a list of requirements imposed by any city, county, state, or federal agencies, including any licensing and zoning requirements, which I sent my certificate of occupancy. I've also sent my license, so everything is legit. And submit a list of any special needs on question 8, having regarding trash removal, sanitation needs, storage of flammable or hazardous material. That didn't really apply, so I just put not applicable there. Provide copies of relevant business and other licenses or permits, so on and so forth, which I did. Provide appropriate applications for any requested changes to the exterior of the home, which there weren't really anything except the ramps, which those are like, it's just wheelchair ramps. And then the last two questions: advise if patients will stay overnight at the home. If so, how long on average? Which I did answer that as well, which is 6 months on average. And technically, they are staying overnight. They're permanent residents at that point. They're like a tenant. So, explain in detail the reason for the need of emergency vehicles with lights and sirens to visit your property on a weekly basis. They don't ever visit me on a weekly basis. I'm pretty sure an emergency vehicle comes here like once every 3 to 6 months. It's not that common that they come here. Now, what are my thought process on all of this? Well, one thing is I want to talk about the Fair Housing Act, because I truly believe that this is what's going to, in a way, protect anybody that's in an HOA that is trying to start a care home. I've heard of other care homeowners who, in a way, have been harassed or bullied by their HOAs because they had a care home in their HOA. But one thing is, I will go ahead and put it up here, and this is pertaining to most states. So the Fair Housing Act, there's a couple lines here that will actually apply to the care home setting or group home setting. One is that denying services that are available to others. That one is definitely true. Advertising that a certain type of person is wanted to sell or so. Okay, another one that I saw here was the wheelchair accessible housing in new construction of multifamily dwellings, failing or refusing to provide. So if they're trying to, in a way, try to utilize the wheelchair ramps, they can't come after me regarding the wheelchair ramps or anything that's wheelchair accessible. And so my landlord's attorney is actually going to look over this for me, all these questions and the answers that I provided before we send it off to the HOA here, and to make sure that we're not missing anything and that everything gets filled out properly. And how do I truly feel about this? Well, I've been here for 2 years, and at this point, you would think that they would have addressed it already. And like I said, my landlord had been doing it for a few years prior to me coming in this exact same home. So with that, they can't really say anything regarding the fact that they've never reached out or this has never been addressed. This is the very first time that I'm having to deal with an HOA in regards to this, and I'm just talking from experience and what I'm going through, and I'm letting you guys all know where I'm at with all this. And I went ahead and they said to have it back to them by June 15th, which I submitted it to my landlord literally the same day. And then I also just made sure that we get it to them by June 15th. And in a way, I don't know what's going to come out of this. I'm like I've always said in my videos, I'm controlling what I can control, and then what's out of my control, I'm going to leave in God's hands. There's not much I can do once I've answered the questions and done my part and sent it back. And I just really pray, and I know that this is all just, I don't know what to think of it. It's my first time, and I know I'll definitely keep you guys all updated on this whole situation with the HOA, and hopefully it's really nothing. But then again, it could be something, and it could be something that may potentially shut me down. That I do not know. That is the worst case scenario, that they come in here and say, nope, you got to shut down your business, you got to shut down your care home, and not worry about it. And just that's worst case scenario. Base case scenario, they're like, oh, okay, great, you got a care home, it's all legit, we've received everything we needed, go ahead and continue about your business. So we'll see where we're at. I don't know when to expect to hear back from the HOA. My landlord deals with the HOA. They don't directly deal with me. So with that, we'll see when they reach out, and when they do, I'll definitely make an update video regarding this whole situation, like I said. So thank you so much for sticking all the way through the end. Comment down below if you're an attorney, if you personally have an HOA that you've dealt with and the things that they've done regarding your home and what you're doing out of your home, etc. Comment down below. I would love to hear your stories. Feel free to do that. So without further ado, that's pretty much all I have. So thank you so much for all the support and love on this channel. If you have not yet, hit that like button for me, smash that subscribe button for me, and I will see you all in the next video. God bless.